All right, good morning, guys. So I was recording a video earlier, and then a bunch of notifications start coming in, a bunch of private messages. So I had to after 10 minutes of recording, I had to turn everything off, and then now I got to do this all over again. I hate it when all these notifications start coming through. But anyways, today, man, I got played big time. CLWT played me big time, and then a couple other stocks just like you'll see. Let me hit the play button so you guys can see. But I identified CLWT this morning, and as you guys can see, I already outlined my problem areas based on the daily chart. I already showed you guys how to do this in previous videos. Go on your daily chart, find out where the problem areas are, and you draw a line, and that's where it's going to run into issues. So I kind of already know that I have potentially a way to collect from 221 to 259, capture this move over here. I know gold time is also a resistance, but typically if it goes through gold time, it continues to go until the next stop. So um, I try to jump in early, and you'll see I don't even watch this. Let me just push play. So watch this. It's 9:30. I already identified this thing. I'm jumping in. Look, I'm not getting filled. I did not get filled. And look how slow this thing is moving. And then I had to hit my buy button again. So I got filled there, but I should have been filled right there at 222. But it wasn't too bad. So it went up like 4 cents, 5 cents, well, 3 cents. I got in. It filled me. But then I was hoping that it came down and picked this up. It just wouldn't. It didn't come down and pick this up because I was hoping to get a little bit more shares. Um, so I had to cancel this order. As you can see, I'm expecting this thing to explode, and it just hesitated. So I sold. Right before I sold, it started climbing down. So I said, man, I got to find something else with more momentum. Because if this thing is not moving, there's got to be something else moving. So I'm looking for that something else that's moving, but everything on the scanner is like overpriced. You can see this is overpriced. I don't really trade stocks at those type of prices. So I went back to this one, and of course, it's still not doing anything. So I'm like, okay, well, maybe that thing's done. So then I started looking at JMIA. So I was like, okay, this thing's dropping hard. Maybe I should short it. But then I see the volume on it, and I'm like, oh no, I'm not gonna jump in that because you gotta have volume. Then I saw NVTA, so I'm like, okay, this thing's about to explode above gold time. Then I look at the volume, and I'm like, oh lord, another one. I'm getting played all morning, you guys. So now I'm like, I can't trade this thing. This thing has zero volume. Look at this. So now everything else is overpriced. So then I see this one here. So then I'm looking at it. I was thinking about shorting it. But then I see like this huge drop. So I'm like, okay, well, maybe I could take the bounce on this one. Because you can see this is a clear support. And typically, when it bounces, it normally bounces up to halfway. Because you can see the halfway mark is where most of the action is. So I'm thinking, okay, if I jump in here, it's going to go back at least a VWAP. And then I could make me a nice little profit. It's not that big of a profit from 1540. You know, it's a small win, but I need these small wins right now. So it's not the biggest win. And if it chooses to continue to go back up to this way, at least I'll capture a good 14, 15 cents. All I need is 35 to 45 cents a day, and I hit my goal. So I know this right here is a good support. So obviously I'm still hanging on to it. You know, I was only down like maybe like 200 bucks right here. So I was like, okay, I expect it to at least go back halfway, and if I'm lucky, it'll go back to this level. And of course, look how long it's taking. This is 1 minute. This is 2 minutes. So I'm like, typically I'm in trades like 15, 20 seconds. So now I'm watching and I'm like, okay, here we go. So now I'm expecting it to explode. It starts forming a wick. I got out. Of course, I got out because it looks like it's hesitating here. And also, these lines right here, these EMAs, they are, you know, kind of like a resistance kind of area. And of course, as soon as I sold, it did exactly what I thought it was going to do, go back to halfway mark. So I wasn't really like too bummed by this one because it was only going to give me, you know what, 7 cents, but that 7 cents would have helped closer to my goal. But of course, it did exactly what I thought it was going to do after I sold. So I got played again by this one. I got played, I got played, I got played. So now I need to find something else. I'm trying to see if this thing will explode, but it's not doing what it's supposed to do. So I was thinking about shorting it because now I think that it might go back to this level. At least I'll capture this one, but I'm not really a short bias trader. So I didn't really short. I try to avoid shorting as much as I can because I'm more of a long bias trader. So I don't really like shorting, but I do it sometimes if I see like big red candles like this. But the only way I do it is if it starts, if I see a lot of volume pushing through. That's, I need to see that big red candle in the volume, not candle, big red volume bar. Um, then I'd feel more comfortable. But as you can see, there's not much happening. So I gotta find something else. I missed this one, of course. I missed this one. And this isn't really something that I probably would trade anyways because the volume is super low. You can see how slow it's moving. So now I found this one here, even though this is not my go-to. I typically don't trade stocks like this that are like way below go time like this. So there's nothing else to choose from. So now I'm like, okay, let me try to scalp this one. So I start drawing out my support and resistance lines. And so I'm like, okay, this is a good support line. This is a little bit of a good resistance line. And this area here is a good resistance line. So I draw my lines. So now I'm like, okay, so if it goes above 475 and it goes to 493, that should take me to my goal. And I'm waiting for it to pop. Look, it popped up to this line here, which is a nice low resistance. Now, if it could push through this resistance and go above here, I'd feel comfortable jumping in at the 475 area to take this little move right there. And if it happens to go higher, better for me. And of course, it starts going back down. I'm getting played again by this one. So look, remember the stock we were just looking at, CLWT in the beginning. This thing did exactly what I thought it was going to do. Look at this. It goes exactly to the problem areas that I thought that it would, but it just didn't do it on this candle. And of course, this candle and this candle, as soon as I sold right there, it did exactly what I thought it would do. Look what happened. So this thing played me big time. So um I even tried to wait for it to bounce and maybe go back. But I wasn't really gonna jump in because it's so much friction here. There's so many resistance lines right there in that little area. So at that point I was like, you know what? I know when I'm being played. You know what I mean? Like you go talk to a girl and she's not really interested in you. You know when you're just being played or when you're playing yourself. So I felt like, man, I was just playing myself at this point. There's no need for me to continue. I watched it a little bit longer because it kind of bothers me when I don't hit my goals. So I watched it for a little bit. I watched it. I watched it. I watched it. Once it goes below go time, I'm no longer interested. As you can see, it went even further. It didn't even try to pick back up. And basically, that was the end of the video. I turned everything off. I was done. I mean, at the end of the day, you got to know when it's not your day. Because typically, when it is my day, by now, it's 9:37. By now, I would have already hit my goal. So, if you know that it's just not your day, I mean, I'm up 280, I just turn everything off. It's not in my best interest to be trading. It's 7 minutes after the bell rang. I didn't even hit my goal yet. So you got to start recognizing when it's your day and when it's not your day. And when it's not your day, just don't trade. Just stop. Because then there's gonna be another day where you make up for this day, and when it's your day, you're gonna make up for this day and that day. You know what I mean? So, it's best to just quit, stop, and just fight another day. You know, and that's just how it goes sometimes. But yeah, man, it's just I got played big time. But at least I didn't like end up with a red day. I did make 280, so it is what it is. Better than nothing, right? So yeah, but this move right here played me big time. I was looking at it in the beginning, but it happens. So, anyways, I'm not gonna sit here and be sad about it. We move forward. But if you guys have any questions, comment below. If you guys have any type of, if you guys want to learn how to do this, hit me up. I do plan on starting a I don't know if I want to do a group or if I want to go back to like I used to have a group before. I don't know if I want to go back to doing the group and calling out plays for you guys in the group, or I don't know if I want to. I don't know what I want to do yet. I don't know if I want to do a mini course, but I have been thinking about doing a mini course, like a super cheap mini course, just to get people involved. Um, if you guys are interested in a mini course, hit me up, send me an email below, or just comment below on this video if you think I should do a mini course. The mini course will be very cheap, um, a fraction of what I've been charging. Like typically, I charge 5K to teach, and we spent a whole week together. But obviously, this is gonna be a mini course, so I'm just gonna give you the rules to the game, and then I'm gonna show you how to kind of set up your platform. Um, and then at the end of that, it's gonna be up to you to just follow the videos and just go back and look at what I'm doing, and you have to figure everything else out. But I'm basically gonna give you the rules to the game. It's kind of like buying a Monopoly board, and you get the book, the rules to the game. Once you get the books to the game, now it's up to you to go and play the game and figure out how you're gonna maneuver. Versus you spending a whole week with me, because typically when people spend a whole week with me, I do charge like 5 G's, and I'm not gonna charge 5 G's because I recognize the masses just cannot pay 5 G's. But I do get 5 G's from people who can afford it. It's just a different clientele base. So, but I do plan on making something available for the masses, and it's gonna be like maybe like we jump on a Zoom with like a few people, and we go over Q&A, and we do a whole bunch of, um, you know, just training, and just it'll be like maybe like 1 or 2 times. It's not gonna be like a whole week of a bunch of training, and it all depends how many people want to do this. If you want to do it, comment below. If you don't want to do it, that's cool too. But yeah, if you guys are interested, let me know. All right, I'm gonna take off, and we'll chat on the next one.